Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to MyWebUniversity.com. I'm going to just share with you some of the uh, basics of Windows operating systems and PowerShell today. We're going to look at the help menu for the Windows command line and also the PowerShell command lines for help menu, and then run some of the commands so you can see the differences between Windows operating system, Windows 10, and Windows 10 command line, as well as Windows 10 PowerShell. So without further ado, let me just share my screen, and you can see my WebUniversity.com free educational videos as my desktop banner. And the way I'm doing YouTube videos, I'm providing through my WebUniversity.com and YouTube free education videos, so you can learn it. And I'm actually doing it on 2 different languages, in English and also in Farsi. The reason I'm doing it in Farsi is because a lot of the Afghan people, for people of Afghanistan, unfortunately, they're very kind of in a harsh situation right now. The girls cannot go to school. The education is stopped since Taliban took over, and it's very challenging. And this is the best I could do to provide education for those poor innocent people that they are entitled to go to have education and work. So women, like men, are allowed everywhere else, and should be the case in Afghanistan as well. That should not be just because who is in control and the power in the government and controls the poor innocent children that are not allowed to go to school. So this is why I'm providing this free education on both languages. Initially, I started producing all the videos that I taught at Pasadena City College, and I put it, and I'm using my free time on the weekends and days that I'm off to just produce these videos for anyone that is interested to learn at the university level kind of education, but at the same time they don't have the luxury of paying those high-end expensive tuition. And at this time, I'm thinking that similar to the Afghan people, there are thousands of people around the world that they need free education. So I did come up with this, MyWebUniversity.com, about 22 years ago, when I built it on August 6th of 2020. And then I started with the name MyWebUniversity.com with the intention that every person that wants to learn on the internet, whether they learn it from YouTube or some other website, it should be free education for all, and then peace and love for everybody. So I'm going to do this one today with a demo of 2 main help. One is for command prompt from Windows, and the other one is the PowerShell for Windows. And I have done a lot of videos on Unix, Linux, and Python, C++ already. And I'm trying to just make everything that's possible, and that as a computer science student or as a IT person, that you can learn it on the job, or you learn it by watching some videos. There are a lot of cool videos that are 10 minutes to 5 hours, and that I placed, and a lot of other people that are doing it. So you're welcome to just subscribe at my website, which is the channel on YouTube is My Web University free education videos. So if you look for that one on YouTube, you will be able to subscribe, and you will get the latest and greatest that I post all the time. And that way I can help you further. And if you have any question, you're welcome to just make your comments based on what you find out is interesting to you, and what helps you, and what could help you. And then if I did something wrong, please suggest a better solution that you think I'll open, like I'm like an open source person. So I will take your suggestion, If it is going to help others, I'm there for you, and I'm there for other people to just make those kind of correction. But please don't just make bad comments or something that is kind of not fair to anybody reading the website and discourage other people from learning. The fact that I'm just trying to make sure that those free, those young girls that go to college, that's their rights. They should be able to study. They should be able to get educated and help their families. What if there's a family of a person that is only 2-3 girls are born in the house? Shouldn't they just have a chance to work? Shouldn't they have a chance to feed their family? That is ridiculous if somebody come up saying that only men could go to school and go to work, not women. So it should be equality everywhere, not just which part of the country is somebody is controlling it at different days or different times. So let's just go back to the education part of it, and we leave the politics aside, because I'm not a politician and I don't like to get involved in that situation, but I want to ask for free choice for everybody to go to school. That should be human rights, and they should not violate human rights. So here I'm going to be on the search, and if I type in CMD for command on Windows command prompt, I get a screen, nice screen here that I'm going to resize it here. I'm going to just make it half of my screen here, and then I'm going to also type in PowerShell. Search, you can see it comes out with Windows PowerShell as well as Windows PowerShell integrated standard environment. So that ISD or it's like kind of like an IDE environment for PowerShell. I could use that one. I'm going to just open it for now so you can see how nice it is. And then this PowerShell is different than the ISE version is different than the regular command prompt of PowerShell, because with this one you are almost like in an integrated environment. You can run the command, get help on it, and then as you type in similar to the IDE, yeah, it will give you more information. So you can run the commands like, for example, get dash health, and everything you will get it, or get dash process, for example, to get the process. But at this time, I'm going to leave this screen to another session, because I want to just do a little bit more. Right now, I want to help show the difference between the command prompt from Windows and then the PowerShell prompt from the PowerShell Windows. So here I type in PowerShell, and I just use the PowerShell command. It will open a PowerShell command line kind of arguments here. So I'm going to resize that one also. And let me just make this thing a little bit here, like this size, and then move this one here and resize this one. I'll just have my picture or whatever, and they have it on the side here. That's fine. And then the size is already good in terms of the look and feel of it. So I'm not going to resize that one again, because if I just do the right click here and go to properties, I can make it a little bit bigger, but 36 might just wrap out everything that we type in, and then it might be very good for readability. Let me just do that 36. See, we can just do a pipe more, and so that way we could get the information there. I'm going to see if I can move this one. Actually, I don't need that one. I'm going to minimize it. And right here, I could put it on this one, and then here, and let me just move this thing here. And now I have the left side more. I'm going to resize this one also. And then this one, I'm going to resize it. So this one on the left side on the command prompt, I'm going to also change the property to match 36. And that way we have same font. And then I'm going to resize this window again here. By resizing it, you will see that much better here. So let me just do this one also all the way to the bottom, and then a little bit space on the top, bottom. I want to give it out, so let me just correct that one a little bit. Yeah, this is good enough. So at this time, if you can see on the right side where we have the menu, and then for Microsoft Windows version 10 command prompt, it just shows the operating system as 10. Here we are just seeing the PowerShell copyright Microsoft already reserved, and also known as MS/PS Core 6 for PowerShell. PowerShell Core 6 is the version of PowerShell. So PS Core is there, and then on the website is a secure port, HTTPS, which means it's a port 443 is a secure port, encryption is on. So here, if I just clear my screen on both windows, and I want to just see where I am on, I'm going to move these two a little bit down, because it shows a little bit with the other tools that I'm using for Zoom, and I don't want to just have the menu a little bit kind of distractive when you look at it like that. Those things shows up. So right here now is good, and then this one, move it a little bit more on the side is good. So now it's better. What I want to do is, like I did a clear screen. So the version that I'm using here is called system info, and then find/i, and then when you do a /i, mean ignore case. So I say OS name, I could write in lowercase here. And then here, if I just do the same thing, I'm not gonna have the find command and the PowerShell available. Like if I do system info, that is a valid command on the PowerShell, because any command that I could do. But if I just clear my screen, and then I say system info, and then I say find/i, and then OS name, notice that that find command is not a PowerShell command. So it does not, it did actually recognize it. So it did allow the Windows command. In the past, maybe before core version of 6, it was version 5, maybe find would say no such command. But it did find it, and it says that OS name. So if I just don't type in the /i, I want to show you that if I don't ignore the case, it's not going to find it, because at this time I'm looking for something that is with uppercase O and then S and then name, like that. That will find it. Because if you did /i, meaning that don't ignore it, and then similarly here, if I just do same command here, I type in find and then say OS name, then because those one actually name is lowercase, it's not going to find it, and then you have to type in name in uppercase, that will find it. So we just found out that we are working on a Windows 10 operating system, both from command line and the operating system. So on both of them, I'm going to do a clear screen here, and then I'm going to do a clear screen here, and then I'm going to type in help here. And then if I just don't type in anything, help will give me a long listing of it. But notice that the characters are much larger, so it doesn't fit it there. If I clear a screen and I say help, and then I do a pipe more, it will stop one page at a time. But notice that the actual size of the window, I could have it like this, and then it will still be best fit on the screen. So I have a larger screen, I could do that one. And then when I come to the PowerShell, I can do similarly like this. So since I did a pipe more, it is just waiting for me to press enter. And as I press enter or tab or a space bar, it will go one page at a time. And then for each command, I could do also clear the screen and say, instead of saying help to just each one of them, I could say each help copy. So it will give me the syntax for the copy command here. Say that copy, it takes a source file right here, and then these flags, and then a destination. And then you can just say how many files you want to copy and where to copy it. The location and source directories are specified by you. And then here, similarly, if I clear my screen, say help move. Move is similar to copy, but move could also do a rename. So you can move a file as well as rename it to a different destination address. So you can see move, it takes these flags and the drive where the source is, and then the destination where you want to name it to. If you put the dot, meaning that it just keep the current name the same, similar to not typing the name. So if I do a clear screen here, say help xcopy, for example. Xcopy has more parameters, and then therefore I'm going to do a clear screen, do a xcopy, and then I say 5 more. And as you can see, the xcopy requires a source code, and then a source file, and then destination. This source could be file or directories, and destination could be similarly. That's where you want to put it there. So the option that are there, the /a and /m, are very useful commands. And when I was a student back in 1994, I was working at the lab, and then at the lab, back then in 1994, internet and all these resources were not as TCP/IP were not available. We were only having Unix and VAX VMS operating systems. On Windows, we had like those 386 PCs with floppy disk and floppy drive. In the floppy drives that we were copying files between, sometimes it would not make sure, I mean, it would be, the size would be not enough for one directory structure to be copied, especially if you are doing programming, like you're doing compilers, and sometimes you take a C++, Borland C compilers there, Fortran is there, and some of them are on the IN, on the VAX and Unix were there, but at the same time, a student could purchase like a Borland C++ compiler or something on Windows. You could just get certain source G++. I don't know if it was available back then or not, but a lot of the students were just trying to make sure that they can get this work done from the lab activity. And if the lab was closing at 9 p.m., I was running the lab and we were closing at 9 p.m. So at that time, if nobody, if somebody did not finish the assignment, the homework was done, they would not have to copy everything that they had done to a floppy disk, and then they move home back, and then the next day they load it again from the floppy disk. But that floppy disk sometimes would not fit because you already have copied a directory structure that is larger than the floppy size. So you would have to copy it in multiple files or multiple floppy drives. And then the Time magazine back in 1994, they had an article about the /m option. /m is just as it copies from one floppy drive to the next one, it just actually set the archive bit. So wherever you left off, the archive bit of the attribute of the archive is just dash, like empty. That means that this is ready to be copied. The ones that were copied is already on the floppy disk, and then the next time the attribute, if you reset the attribute, you can just recopy the same file. But if whatever you use the xcopy /m argument, whatever number 1 through 10 was done, number 11 would be stored on the next floppy drive. This was very useful command that I read this article, and then I was helping the student out to get their assignment done because I was a lab assistant person that tutor kind of things at the computer science lab, and also we had a building called McCarty Hall, which was business students. I was lab tutor there, as well as other buildings for Macintosh and everything. So I was trying to come up with all those solutions that the students had difficulties. And right now here, I'm just showing you the help. So if you look at the help here, clear screen, and then just look at the help here, notice that there's a lot of these nice commands that are there. So clear the screen, help, and then pipe more. So now you can see that associate is when you want to associate a file on Windows with the extension of .text for text file, or .docx for Word document, .xls for Excel, and then .pdf for PDF files, and so on. .exact for executable, .com for binaries and assembly, and then .batch for batch script. You are basically associating it. .png for graphic file, image file. So attribute is another command that I was just telling you about, that xcopy. You can do it. So you can do a trip and see */s. You could see all the attributes of all the directories that are there. And then break and all these other commands, as you can see, the cd change directory. Some of these ones I will give you another video just to show you some of the Windows commands, like how you do copy, how you make directories, how you change directories. All those things are very simple, but from time to time you might use the find command. You might use the format to format a floppy drive or a drive or a kind of USB drive or anything that you do it. So the go-to is the function, that the echo is printing this, exit is exit out, erase to delete one or more files, similar to delete command. And then they delete and the erase and other commands sometimes works with subdirectories as well. So here you can see that there's a lot of commands, rename, remarks, and then recover, or remove a directory. So set a variable, set an environment variable. In addition to these environment variable, their help, there's these path environment variable that you can set also. And then each one of them, they will find out the directory. For example, if I'm on the Windows and I want to just say, open up Word, then I can type in WinWord here, or I could type in whatever the name of the executable is. So under the program files, normally you would know that the name of the program is winword.exec. So the way I could do a search on it, so let's say I go here, just to show you one thing on the, if I go here, cd cd slash, and now from Wahid user back to the C drive. So now I type in dir. Actually I wanted to change that one. What I was telling you that I will another day make that video. Since I'm on it, why don't we make it now? And I'm just going to do a quick training on Windows command line in every command that comes on my mind at that time. I'll just explain. So when you do cd change directory to root, now I'm doing a dir, and then dir /w, you will see it like in a wide information. So this long listing that you do, dir, by itself is going to give a long listing. So if I just say the dir greater sign and then call it dir.txt, now I cannot write to dir.txt because the permissions of this one, I'm not admin. I'm not admin and I don't have a right permission to write to the C drive. But I can do this one on C:/temp. That is a temporary space that's available for everybody. So then I could say dir of C:/temp, and then I look at those ones. There's one file that I just created, that one. And if I want to see that directory listing, so this one shows on the bottom, the last one file, I could do a dir/o option D descending order, and then C:/temp. Now the file that I just did the last is on the bottom. So this /o for option and D for descending. If you want to sort it by ascending order, yeah, you could do the /a, and the /a is not recognized here. So if you want to just see what are the options here, you could do dir /?, and then A, display files in the specified attributes. So the O is here is the option that I was using, and D is date timestamp oldest first. So if I want to do it the newest first by name, you can search by extension, by group, by size, dash prefix to reverse order. So instead of the D, you could do dash and to reverse the order. Here, and instead of that, we could just say this, and then notice that the latest one is on the top. So instead of the ascending order, they just change it. It would be nice to just make it more kind of consistent. The name descending is D, and then the latest, the A for it. But because /A is already used for other options, they just decided to do that dash this. And then dash, this A is not similar to that one. You cannot just say colon because the O option, as we saw, the syntax was there. So if you look at the syntax here, dir, it just says that /A display all files with the specified attributes. And then you can see the attribute. And we were talking about the attribute command. So if I do here directory and I say attrib star, and then I could just get all the attributes of these files. They are A for archive, and when they are saying A, for some reason I just small size it. So let me move this one here. A attribute, and then S system files, H for hidden files. So like if I go attrib and then say C:/temp / dir.text, you can see that attribute is there. That's not SNH because it's not a system file and it's not a header files. I mean hidden files. So you can do attrib -h and +h and all that thing. So if you look at the attrib command, for example, attrib /?, if it doesn't give you this, that would be a PowerShell kind of equivalent command. But attrib on Windows /? will give you the full syntax. And now here you can do a more, and then you can say, okay, attrib all these plus and minus. Plus sets the attribute and minus clears the attributes. And then you could say read only, archive, and system, hidden, and so on. So you can read those information and make sense out of it. So now we created that directory of C:/temp.text. If I want to just type that one, I can type that one. I just see that this one is exactly my dir command. My dir output, I redirected it earlier with this command of sending it to that file right here. This greater sign means that pipe it or redirect it. So you could do another redirection with, let's say, dir/w, and then if we do this one, it's gonna override it. So now I do that type C:/temp/dir.text. It just overrode the other one. But if we want to preserve that one, we could do this dir, and then first run that command, and now do the type. Now this command is there. In addition to that command, I want to write one more output, this one, the /w. So instead of one greater sign, you see double greater sign. This is the pipe symbol, meaning a pin, add to the end of it. Whatever is this file contains, dir.text, don't override it. Don't override it, add dir/w output to the end of it. Now, this one, if I just run it, now that command is done. So if I do a type, I'm going to do a more because it's more than one page. So you'll see the top one window, and then when I press a space bar, it shows the second window. So this is useful. Like for example, let's say I just name this file called help.txt. And if I just create this file and then I use the help command here, now the syntax, it says, okay, you want to do this help, but I did not redirect it to any file. So this one says, what do you mean by this? You usually get help and then followed by a command or slash question mark like this. So it tells you help command and then followed by that. So in order to just get that help, this is what I meant. I forgot the greater sign to write it to that file. Now I do the type temp/help.txt, and the whole help is written there. And now, since I did that one, if I want to use Notepad, I could just open it there and then read the whole thing in a very nice format. So I just basically get the help from command prompt and wrote it to a file, and now I can read the file there. And if what if I just want to open the same file and when Word? So when Word is not showing up here, Word is not showing. But as you can see here, the path that is there, let me just show you here. If I type in WinWord here, it is going to, from the command prompt, the reason it is there, it does not know where WinWord.exec is. WinWord.exec is not in the path. So that's why it's not going to find it. Let me close this file here. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, okay, let's go to the program files. So the directory that I am here, if I do directory, you can see there's two directory called program files and program files here. And then the last one is Windows. And there's another one, users. Another day, maybe I will tell you about the file system and directory structure. But at this time, I'm going to tell you that there's two program files. One is for 32-bit, one for 64-bit. The program files is for 64-bit, and program files x86 is 32-bit. And then users is everything that is your profile. So under users, like for example, I have one profile called Wahid, one account W Lutfi. One of mine has privilege and the other one doesn't. So I'm going to just check on the program files here. And then in this Windows is all the binaries that are there. So if you look at all the binaries are on there. So including Windows System 32. And then under Windows System 32 is all the dynamic link library, all the executable, and then everything else that are the entire operating system is on Windows directory. And there's details of like etc drives, drivers /etc, the host files, network configuration files. Look at how big it is. So I'm going to stop Control-C out of this, and I'm going to do, say, start.exec. And then look at all the executable, how many executables are there. So every command that you run, whether it's PowerShell or Windows or Microsoft Word or Notepad or something, there's an executable, like xcopy, for example. When we do xcopy, it is there. Copy, again, it's like if I just look for anything with copy, it is there. Robocopy, xcopy. And then if I just look for anything with move, the executable, if it is not here, it is in another location there. So how do I know where to find these ones? There's also under the program files, like I mentioned here, program files 64-bit. So if on the command prompt on Windows, like I did the system info, and then did a find /i, if I say OS name, that was reporting my Windows operating system. At the same time, I need to know that the host name is there. The host name, what is the host name of this machine? And it's going to show me the host name is laptop something here. And you can see that name here. And then you could type in also host name here, it will tell you the same thing. But at the same time, you can also get memory information from here, like how much memory you have on the system. And then at the same time, you can see that like the model architecture of your CPU is AMD 64-bit. The reason I showed you this these commands is because I am interested in the processor is speed 64-bit. So when I do a dir here, I'm looking at program files here. That is for 64-bit, and this is 32-bit. So the 32-bit is backward compatible. At the same time, and command prompt, you could say Microsoft Info 32, and then run this program, and it will tell you the same thing, that, okay, this is Microsoft Windows 10, and then all the detail, and x64-bit operating system, all the details. So, and this is another kind of nice tool, similar to System Info that I did, and you can get all the memory and then everything related to your processors, the speed of the processor, everything. So now let's come back to this dir programs and say program files. So notice that there's a space here. There's a space. I could do cd to programs, and then a space files. This will also take me to there. Without this space is interpreted by, and this code around it, it knows that I mean this one, not x86. So if I cd out of this one and say cd to this information here, and then say string, now I'm there. But notice that every one of them, they have their own directory structure and then files, they are associated files. So I want to go to this. Another way you can do it, also say cd program. This is coming from DOS kind of environments, going to Windows 95, Windows 98, and then Windows 7, 8, and then now 10 and 11. So if you're interested to go to program files without code, you type in the first 7 character of it, P-R-O-G-R-A, and that's 7 here, this is 6, and then tilde, the first 6, and then tilde 1. So now the program files, this one is going to take me to the same one that I wanted to go to program files. So if I do this one to tilde 2, this is going to take me to the second one, because tilde 1 would be the first argument in ascending order that shows up, tilde 2 would be there. And then notice that the nice thing that the previous command with quotation around it was that it was not misleading you tilde 2. Now you still have to say which one is tilde 2, and you're going to that directory and you're seeing it. But what I want to do is go program files here within the codes, and then just do this. And another way that I'm looking at a nice way to do this one, and whether you're on Unix or Windows, I just type in prog, and then it just minimizes it to these two. Now I have to differentiate between those two with a star meaning wildcard, and then just one is, and then that one is already differentiated. So now, because it's prog, and then the rest of them I don't have to do it. Normally you could type in tab on some operating system or bash or shell scripting that we are used to it. You could do the longer characters without typing it. But instead of that, doing tab, the asterisk is much easier because you are doing it a lot of the things faster. And the old days when there was no tab delimiters or kind of options to just do it based on the tab, and then you're inside a file or something, these wildcard grep and asterisk, these are called regular expression. If you know that your own regular expression, that's how you do it. And normally senior people, they don't just want to do it at kind of old days or the junior level, that of entry level. You have to figure out a lot of harder ways to do it. So look at this one. I mean, if I go there and say prog, and then star right bracket, and automatically, since that prog is there, the x86 automatically changed it for me. So that is good by doing this prog star S, and then automatically I'm on the program files. So why did I come on program files here? Inside program files, all your application that you're seeing on the command prompt here, on the command prompt, you type in WinWord or Word. So for example, if I just click in here, it will call Word, or I just type in WinWord application. But because I'm on the path, that is already set in my path. Some of your path, it might not be. So if you don't, if you want to do it from command prompt, like here, if I say WinWord, it's not going to open it. So that means that it's not in my path, the program files and the directory Microsoft Office. So if everything, if Microsoft Office, I wanted to use it like here, and there's under local Microsoft Office there, but I want to do it within this command line to show you interactively how you can find out certain files. So inside here, I could say in directory of a star Microsoft Office. So if I look for Office here, you can see there's under program files with under star Office star, it shows that Microsoft Office and Microsoft Office 15. So I'm going to go to Microsoft Office with this and cd to micro star CE. And then that one automatically take me to this first one. So this one. And as you can see, I am there. So what I'm going to do here is do a dir here. And then notice that there's something called root. On Windows, normally they call it root. On the other ones, Linux and Unix, there's a bin directory. So under the root, this one is going to show you like all the binaries and all the other directories, license and Office, everything that is there. So what I'm interested here is for something called winword.exec and then /s, meaning that search for winword.exec here and /s any subdirectory. So I don't know if it is here or here or here. Let me just traverse throughout the subdirectories, and by doing this dir command, and then I have to press enter. So automatically it found it under Office 16 when Word is there. Okay, so I'm going to go to root directory, and then again, if I do this one now here, it's going to find it only under the Office 16. So if I go under Office 16, cd to that directory, then again run this one now, and right away it does not show any subdirectory. It is there. And if I do a dir of winword.exec, this is there. But notice this was not in my path there. So if I type in winword.exec here, it's still going to open it because I'm on the inside Windows. But if you're on PowerShell, you cannot open it this way. You have to do a /, meaning that from this current directory, so you say /winword.exec from PowerShell. Because relative to that path, you're saying from current directory. So you could also type in like this, and if you cd out here and you do something like all path here, and then say / here, and when word.exec, this is also saying that go from this C drive and run it that path. So you, either you have an absolute path in this case or a relative path in this case. So I just showed you two different ways you can run it if it is not on your path. But if you want to just run this one in your path all the time when Word is that something that you want to run all the time, then it's similarly there. So another command you could do is, for example, on this directory, let's see what other executable files are here. So you can do this for Microsoft Word, like for PowerPoint.exec is there. So if I want to just run PowerPoint.exec, I could do a PowerPoint, where is it? PowerPoint, it was somewhere here. Power PNT. So they don't call it PowerPoint. Whatever they call the executable, you just have to call that one. And then since it is there, now I could just say, yeah, go ahead to run that one to open out PowerPoint for me. So you can see that it is opening the PowerPoint here. Okay, so this time I'm going to show you another command to kill this PowerPoint process. Let's check it out on the task command. So under here, if we do help and then do a find /i, and then we say task command. Notice that there's no command, say task list on there. So help task list, it is giving you the command there. Somehow when I did this find/i task list, even though task list was there, oh, the find was a mistype. I type in find. So find task list is there. So if I do a task itself, you will see that there's scheduled task, task list, and task kill. The scheduled task is similar to like a Unix and Linux cron job, add job and cron job. You can schedule a task and you at a different time to run it. Task list is to just get a list of all the tasks that are running. So if I just say task list and then run the command, sorry, task list, no slash. Task list, this is going to show me all the tasks that are there. And then what if I'm looking for PowerPoint? For PowerPoint, if I just say find/i, and then we say power to see if there's any PowerPoint. Yeah, it shows up there's PowerPoint.exec with this process ID of 1044. So I could just say, go ahead, show me and PowerPoint. I mean, kill it. And this one, I want to just kill it. Let's see if it just does that. So since I know the process ID of it, I could just say task kill /PID, PID for process ID, and then 10444. Notice that when I do the task kill, it's going to just say successful send termination. And sometimes if it does not kill it, then you have to do a -F for force to force it. And this time it did it, so I don't have to do that one. Task kill /?, you could see all these arguments that are there. And /F for forcing the command. So if I just say open up another command prompt, I can exit out here. I could say open up a calculator, and then now calculator is opening up somewhere here. You can see that this is calculator that open up. I want to just do the same thing with this calculator. So I could just, let me move this thing here back to this screen, clear my screen. I'm going to say task list, and then do a find -i, and then say calculator. Calc.exec is calculator.exec. In this case is there. And notice that if you type in calculator.exec, it's not going to run. But calc.exec is there because one of the path to the calculator executables or that. So I just opened two of them, one here and one here, because I run that one. Now, if I just say, and there it was showing one task list, and then say find/i, and then calc, matching any word with calc, it's still showing one of them. That is this number 4948. This one was also 4948. So let me kill one of them and say task kill -9. Not -9. That's kill -9 is a Unix command. Task kill /PID, and then this time it's the process ID is 4948. So this one, it says that send termination signal to the process with PID 49, but this has not been closed. So at some point later, it will do it. But if I want to do it now, I could do /F for force, and it will close it. And notice that both of them closed at the same time because there was only one process ID for both. Clear screen. And then if I do the same thing, I say notepad. And then right here, this is a test. This is a test. I don't need to just keep saving it or anything. I'm going to kill it anyway. So let's do the task list. And then instead of searching for the calc, this time we search for notepad. Now I'm going to do task kill, again, -9, PID 61484. And then notice the termination is sent. Here it prompts me, say, do you want to save it? I say no. If I just say no, because the termination is asking the user that, hey, you did some update here. I don't want to just kill it because you haven't saved it. You want to save it? And if I say no, don't save it, now close it. Okay, so that is the task kill command and other ones. So here on the commands, for example, if I go to cd to c:temp directory, I could just create some more files and then dir/o:_d. So now notice that dir.txt is there, help.txt is there. I could just make a couple of more commands. If I just say star.txt, show me all the .text, I could say type dir.txt and help.txt and p.txt and t.txt. I could type all of them at the same time. I don't have to just do one file at a time. And if I just want to delete star.txt here, I could do that too. But let's say I want to do directory of /o:_d. Those two directories that I created, dir.txt and help.txt, I could just say delete dir.txt and help.txt. And then now the same directories are gone and it's not there anymore. So let's just create a directory here. We're going to make a directory called dir called Wahid. So now Wahid has a directory cd to Wahid, and then at this time cd to Wahid. I made it wrong, so rm dir WHAID. I better write my name right. So now I'm going to say make dir Wahid. I'm going to make it uppercase like that. So now I go to cd to Wahid, and there's nothing else in there here. So if I just want to say, let's say echo, this is a test, and then I use greater sign, say test.txt. So now I created a file called test.txt. If I type in test.txt, you can see it. And if I notepad test.txt, I open it in notepad, it will have the same wording there. So now if I want to do a couple of more information here with the echo command that I did here. So I'm going to this time say echo -e for expression, and then I put a new line here and say that this is also a test, but I'm going to do double greater sign. That way it overrides, it doesn't override it, it appends to it. Type test.txt has that one. So now what if I just get rid of that -e out, because it wrote the -e in itself. -e is for Unix and Linux. So now let's just do this one and do one greater sign. Now test.txt has it. So I want to just say that the new line character is actually not written there. So let's see, help echo, and then argument is on or off. So you can set and then the message that you want to do. Echo, and this is test. And let's see if I do a tab delimiter here, /tab/tab. And then it is just not doing something here with the interpretation. Let's see if, yeah, it is minus. So let me just do echo question mark, echo, echo. Okay, somehow it is not doing the display with expression, and then that would be a Linux environment that I could show you on the Linux environment. But let's see if the PowerShell does it. Echo -e, and this is this new line characters, and then this. So echo, and this is a test / new line characters. Yeah, it is not interpreting it for some reason. This one is all those extra characters are not showing up with that one. So if I say set name is equal Wahid, echo percentage name percentage, and then echo dollar name. Okay, so this one is coming here, but set is not a variable here. Name is equal Wahid. So this is how PowerShell does it. You use the dollar sign similar to Unix. Similar to Perl programming. Unix is just a variable is there. You set the expression. So if I just do something like say dollar sign H for hello world is equal, and you just say hello world, and then just that, and then you say echo dollar sign H, it will just say hello world. So you will do this one, and then you can pass on more argument to it. Welcome to MyWebUniversity.com or something. So you could say dollar sign H is equal hello, and then comma, and then this, and then dollar sign W is you could say welcome, give a space here, welcome to my MyWebUniversity free educational videos. So if you do that one just as a test, now I say echo dollar sign H and then dollar sign W. It should say hello, welcome to this. But if I want to see both of them next to each other, maybe I could just put them in one quotes, and it will say hello, welcome to MyWebUniversity free educational videos. So I'm going to just show you the Windows stuff here first. We jumped into that one to see the clears commands and echoes stuff. But let's just clear the screen here, and then we are going to clear the screen here. And I'm going to create some more files here. So if I just create some more files, I could say copy test.txt as test1.txt. Now I have the copy of it. So I could say copy test1.txt, and I say Wahid.txt. The name that I gave is the destination, it doesn't matter. So the size of the files are the same when you do a copy. It is just getting it. If I say move Wahid.txt as Hamid.txt, Hamid.txt, now and the files are renamed. And then I could also say rename Hamid.txt to Wahid.txt. You can see that I rename it back to whatever it was. I could delete Wahid.txt, and then it will be done. So if here I could say delete the star and .txt, it will just delete everything here. And if I just say dir greater sign empty.txt, now the directory is empty. At least still the content of this file, it has the root directory and then the parent directory. The dot is the root directory where we are coming from. The parent is the current directory is called root. This one on this directory, and this is the parent directory from where we came from. So if I want to say cd ... then it's going to take me back to here. But if I say cd to Wahid, and then I do a dir / empty.txt, still I can see it from the current directory here. If I say directory c : look at the C drive, I could do that one. So here I just created that file. I want to just make some more files. So I'm going to copy empty.txt as new.txt. just to make these two directory. Now I'm going to delete Wahid directory. If I say rmdir Wahid, it's going to say directory is not empty. Why? Because Wahid has contents of empty.txt and new.txt. So if I want to delete the rmdir text, I could do a /s for subdirectory. It says, are you sure you want to delete the content of it as well as that one? I say yes. Now directory Wahid is gone. So the /s means remove the directory and the subdirectories. Be careful whenever you're removing or modifying files, changing files, renaming it, to make sure that's your intention, and don't just type in something and press enter. And double check your commands. I'm doing this one as testing, and I can do whatever I want on the temp, so I don't have to even double check or anything. But if I look at this one, like I know that, okay, there's a C++ directory that I have. Let's say directory C++, and then inside here, there's some files that I wrote, type prog1.c, and then here we just made the executable a.exec, and then just a.exec. It says hello world, and then you can see the C program. Let me just clear the screen and make it easier for you to read. So type prog1.c is a C program and just does a hello world, and then I compiled it already. So the executable is a.exec, and you run it and just outputs another word. So this prog1.c++. So notice the difference between this one is .c. It uses the printf statement, the standard IO.h, and then everything else is very small. But on the C++, it's a little bit different. C++ is using IO stream, and then include include the IO stream, and then as well as a namespace, using namespace, and also instead of printf statement, the cout statement we are using. So prog1.c++, you can see that this here, if I just clear screen, and then do the same command here, you can see using namespace, iostream.h, and then hello world. And so this one is also, I call it prog1.exec here. So prog1.exec, and we'll just do the same thing. But notice that program, in addition to hello world, that prog1.c++, it also uses a for statement. Inside the for statement, I go from initial value of 0 up to 9, I less than 10, and so I++, increment the I, and then it says this is the number, and then it prints the number, and then just add 5 to the number and print that 5 and there. So as you can see, the output of prog1.exec here, let's see the prog1.exec right here. You can see that 0 and then 0 plus 5 is 5, and 1 plus 5 is 6. Up to that one is just within the for statement, and then it prints this kind of one, and then at the end it says welcome to C++. So if I go here and then go to the Python directory, I mean, no, not Python, there's some programs with Python. So let's see more inf.py. This is just a Python 3 program, remove duplicates. So I wrote this one to just match whatever the on manual pages that are certain string, and then just get rid of the duplicate characters on this thing. This is like the old manual pages that has like this. So when I wrote the MyWebUniversity.com, I had to write Python programs that are basically just very helpful in terms of under users, under Lutfi, I think, Wahid, in this case, since I'm logged on as Wahid, and directory Python. So this one, I wrote a lot of Python programs here for each of the operating system, like my Solaris operating system. I had to generate 13,000 manual pages using these Python programs that I wrote this one. Someday I'll kind of like, At this time, it's still copyrighted because there's no kind of documentation on the internet that you can just generate man pages. But there's a lot of good man pages out there, but mine is a little bit different because I'm doing it for Linux, Solaris, Mac OS X, Darwin, and BSD, everything. So if you go to my website, and then they say go to MyWebUniversity.com, you could see like there's that I wrote us. So and inside here, obviously there's some kind of like advertisement from if you like them, you can use them. But if you don't, you can just go like, for example, on man. So the advertisement is way bigger than my actual documents. So here is the documents. The document that if you just document, look at how big it is. Each one of them I generated through this, but I have to parse all these commands. So if any commands that you type in, let's say you click on this history, and then this history command that says FC is the command or history. FC could also generate same output as like history. So every command that you type in on Unix, Bash, shell scripting, everything, you can capture the history of your command, and you can go to the list. Sometimes 2 months ago, you did a command, you just want to find it. It's much easier to look at your history. And if you set your history to 200, you can see up to 200. So there's a lot of configuration files out there, but notice that I just had to do these things because when the man page was coming, those examples of C also and other ones were having duplicate characters. So I had to parse it and just make it single characters and make sure that I don't remove too much so the data is still much as it is, the integrity of the data is there. So here, for example, if I'm looking for like a command PWD, because the man pages of PWD is small. So I'm going to search for that one, and then right here is PWD. And you can see here that print working directly is the command, and then the C also section is nicely, I did it. So the character that was on that actual manual pages, it was coming out from N format or TR format as with the Linux or Unix programming language, where operating system, when it comes in, then I have to parse it and do it. And sometimes I just also made some kind of things in bolts, and so that way it's more readable. But there are commands here, like for example, if you're looking for G++ for GNU C++ compiler, G++, if you look at this one, there's about 400 different lines of things. So here for the G++, and it finds it here, and you can just search it. But this is, if you're looking from Sun Microsystem itself, or now Oracle, they have a very nice format with that is a PDF format, but it costs you. It is not free. So on the website, it is free. And sometimes if you just look at it on the website on Oracle, it doesn't cost you. But if you want to get it from a book or something, it may cost you because they have to print it out for you as a book or as a PDF file. I don't know how that works. I never use it because I'm on the command line. I just generate these ones, and I always do the same thing from the operating system. Like here, I need help on Windows. I just do the help there. So on this directory, I came out here to show you some of those Python scripts. Actually, let me just show you, for example, Wahid, Python, Microsoft, my Solaris. Actually, I will do it another day because it would be just distraction from the actual video that I'm going to show this today. So we did some stuff with Windows. Now let's do shift gear to through PowerShell. Okay, so I'm going to just make this screen larger than my Windows, and I just minimize my Windows here. I don't need to do that one because we showed all the task list and everything. So here I am on the PowerShell command prompt, and I want to do some stuff with PowerShell. So equivalent to help, if I type in help here, and there's Windows help that is going to come up with Windows Power Help. This is almost like an alias to get-help. So whether I type in help or get dash help, it would show the same thing. So if I just do get help, type more, I can read the entire thing, say topic Windows PowerShell help system. Notice when I type in help, it was an alias to get dash help. So it does show that this command is equivalent there. Get help, and then there's a number of ways that you can get help on PowerShell. Okay, so save help is to save it, update help is to update your version of helps. So basically it goes through download and install help files from the internet. And then get help followed by another command like get process would show you commands for process. These are all called commandlet rather than a kind of help or a command. It's called commandlet within PowerShell. And they also always start with a uppercase character because a verb dash something, dash action. So the verb name could be get or could be something else, but this is basically how you're going to get help. On the command line, if you type in get help, will get you, or if you're looking for get process, for example, if you say get help, get dash help a process, and that would give you equivalent. And then there's details of other commands that you could also type in. For example, after this, you say dash examples, and you get examples of it. The dash full, got full version, dash details, and to get the details of it. So like, for example, here I type in get and dash help and get and dash process. I could get the process information command for the process. I could also get help by typing like this, get process and then dash question mark. That would also give me the same command. But notice on the dash question mark, it gives you 4 ways you can just open up get help, process, dash example, dash detailed, and then dash full and dash online. We're going to just experience each one of these ones so you can see exactly that how powerful it is. For example, if I say get dash help, get dash process, and then dash example will give me examples, will give me all the examples, so I can use some of the commands like this. And then get dash process, where main window title, format ID, name, and then, so this is another command that is taking the argument of this command. And this command is taking the argument of this process. So if I run this command, for example, just cut and paste it, get process will run the process command. Then where command is going to say $__main table. $_ is the environment variable that's pointing to the properties of these get dash process commandlet. And then if the $_ name is calculator, then you could say $_ name is equal calculator. I'll show you examples of these ones right after this. And then format table, and then this is going to format it in a nice table. So you could do format dash table or format dash list. Notice that uppercase character on the first verb, and that is there. And then ID is the fields that you want to do it. From this one, one of the field was, one of the field was main window title. Then auto size is just to adjust the size to fit it properly. So if I run this command, you can see that ID, which is here, and then name, and then main, or there. And then the application name and command prompt, and everything that are open right now, PowerShell windows, everything that are showing up here. So if I do a get dash process by itself, it runs and shows me all the processes that are currently up and running on the system, whether it's Notepad, whether it's a calculator, whether it's a Word, or whether it's something else. So as you can see, the list is going on for a long time. So I could do a where command for where there's actually a command called get-help, where is the equivalent of where object. So you can see that where is the alias for where object. And then you can see that the actual command is where the dash object. Where object is, so when I do it for short, I write where command, okay? So I could do, for example, get dash process and then say pipe where, let's say we're looking for $_ dot ID, which is the process ID, is greater than 8,000. So just show me every process ID that are there. I'm gonna put that one between these braces, meaning that it start and end there. So let's see why it didn't work. Get dash process. I must have typed in something there. Let me just type it again. Where $_ dot ID is equal, and then we say 8,000. So this is nothing is equal, but I'm going to say greater than equal. 8,000 is nothing, so let's just do 800. Let's just do a PID, see if the PID is there. I'm going to just check it out first before we find out what is the field that we're looking for. So I'm going to do get dash process more. So this is ID, where ID is, if I just put all the chromes that are started here, if I just match out where process name is Chrome, for example, let's just do this one, where $_ dot process name dash like, and we're going to put the word Chrome and then see if that matches that string. And this is the problem, I believe, that for some reason I put that single code around it. So now here, this one is everything that is matching with Chrome. When you say dash like, anything that is like that. If you just don't do the rest of them, you could also use wildcard character CH there. Because if you don't know equivalent to that one, like if you know that something is called like host, and then there you could see that SVC host is there. It's going to match that one. But let's fix the other one with PID. So here I did not mean to do this. I meant to do this, and then that would work. So the syntax will just extra character in the wrong side. It will just do that. So now if I just say, show me everything that's greater than 8,000, or maybe 8,080, just to get a smaller one, let's say 800. Now you get a smaller one. Similarly, if you say less than, you say LT, less than. So now I want to say less than 100, a smaller list, I could get only the ones that are, the IDs are matching. You can see the IDs are there. And then with this one, if I get let's say I get this one 500, the list is still not that big, and I go, let's say 900, let's just do 7,000. So that's a bigger list. And then that's a bigger list. You could also do format this one in a table format. You could just say format dash table. If you just don't say that the syntax, let me just give you exactly how you pick up the fields. So if I want to do less than, let's do a smaller one. So at this time, I want to get up ID and then process name and then the CPU. I don't want to do too much. So right here, I could say, give me CPU, give me ID, give me process name, and then it will just give you those ones. So the range that you're looking here, you could say, give me some bigger number, you will get all of them there. So get process is very good if you're looking at it. Now, let's just do get a dash process and then dash question mark. It gives you a lot of the examples. So here I showed you the dash examples. So I could say get dash help, get dash process, and then dash example. This will give you all the examples that are there. We just practiced one of the examples. And if you want to do 5 more, you can just do the 5 more here, get dash process itself, and then these other ones, you can get the arguments, assign it to a variable, and then just run the command here. And then get a priority, and then get process input object. And $A will have the result, and then you can run the $A, and then get more output from that one, and certain attributes from it. Like here, for example, let's just do this one. I'm going to do quit. So here, if you do this command, which is get WMI object. WMI object is have its own interface. So you could do get WMI object Windows 32 process, filter name is PowerShell.exec. So once I do this one and I run this one, now the $P has the variable environment there. I could say echo $P and then get those variable, or you could say echo just if you don't do echo is equivalent to just that one. So like if I just want to see the path, and I could just do this path, the same thing here, I only get this field as the output. So you can see that how powerful it is there. There's like all these properties and all these functions and associated objects that are there. You can just get the name of it. Like get class would give you, _class will give you this, and then _path will give you that. So command line will give you this, and then the actual PowerShell command. So you could get those, and then another command that's very helpful, get help. And for example, if we are looking for get process, we could just say get help and dash detail. Dash detail will give you more details of information with more examples to run and everything. And then another one is called dash full. Full is give you a full description of every command with more objects, more examples, all the properties here. But if you want to just open it on the online, you say dash online here, get help, and get dash process. It will open up Chrome browser and then show you the get process command there. So you can read it in here. And it's not just a title to get process. So for example, if you're looking at the syntax of get process and you don't know how to do it, there's examples here, everything. So let's just close this one, and then we are going to come back here, and then this time we get the help itself. Get help online for the get help. So you can see that the get help, when it comes out, it gives you all this information with the description, how to run it and everything, and the format tables and everything. So now notice that here, for example, get dash help will give you details information here. Get dash help, and then you say format dash table. It will print it in a nice format table. If you want to print it in a list, it will also print it in a list. So that those are there. And then with online there, let's just close this one and get another command. Get the dash process is have an alias. So I could say get dash alias. It just shows all the aliases that are there. I could type in alias also, it will run as the alias that's pointing to that. So get dash help, get dash process, it does that one plus if I just say dash PS, PS is equivalent to get dash process, because PS is equivalent to this one. And then so alias get dash process, sorry, get dash help alias. So now you can see that the alias command itself, it is having get dash alias as well as get alias, alias command itself. So, and then get item, for example, and then there's a where object. There's a lot of commands here. So if I just say get help here, get dash help, and then 5 more. So a list of the commands that are available from the commandlet that it shows here. Examples, you can see those big lists. And then PS, I showed you the command PS. You could do a short version or get dash process. So I could say where say $_ underscore dot name like notepad. So if I just look for the notepad here, I'm not having any process here, but I can use, there's also a command like get dash process or start dash process. Let's just do a start dash process, and then I say notepad. So I just started a process called notepad. Okay, I'm going to resize this one and leave this one on the side here. And I'm going to leave it right here so you know that it's there. What I want to do is resize this window to the size of that one. And then this one, I'm going to make it bigger so it looks nicer. And here, let's just make this one. That's good enough. So here, if I say the notepad is there, I'm going to just do start dash process dash question mark. You can see that the equivalent command to get dash help, if you run the command start dash process followed by a command, it will open it. So it says it start one process, and then here is the file path and then the string. If you just were starting from a Word directory or something, and you can do the details whole of that here. You can have equivalent to the start process is the debug process, get dash process, start dash service, stop service, and stop process, wait process. When it is start service, then there's also a stop service. So if I just say get dash start service, start dash service, this will start the service dash. If you want to do is notice that the help on that one, get service, new service, restart service, resume service, set service, stop service, suspend service. So the, based on a class or an object that you're working on, certain context will be available. So let's just find out this notepad process that we opened it here. We say get dash process. Let me clear the screen here. Clear the screen and say get dash process. So I'm interested to find out where dash object. I could type in where here or where dash object. It's where is the alias for where object. So I'm going to say the environment variable $ underscore dot name is equal to notepad, because I know exactly it is notepad, right? So I'm going to search for that one, but it did not find that where object, and there's a C is missing here. So that has to be typed in correctly. This one did not have a C here, that's why it came out with red. So clear the screen and run the second command. We're just going to see that this notepad is there. Okay, at this time, since I already found it, I could just say some kind of commands here, say and $_ underscore dot ID is equal to 10300. So since this is the name of the object, which is the process name, and then also the ID of it, this AND symbol is a Boolean operator or match. It's going to find that one. Let's see. It did not find it there. So let's see why it is there. Because I missed this dot here. Dot ID. So now it is there. The syntax is this environment variable, this wildcard variable dot the field name. The field name could be process name, could be ID, could CPU, and so on. So because we are using a double match on this one, we're seeing that it is more than just one. Earlier, I was doing a wildcard match with anything that is there. So let's just start another process called start-process calculator. Notice if I type in calculator here, it does not understand it. Okay, so I'm going to just show you this command first, saying that, okay, that one is there. I don't need to do these two. I just showed you the Boolean operator that is equivalent to that one. So I'm going to run this command, but then I'm going to do a start-process. This time I type in calc. Calc, because on the command prompt you type in calc, calc.exact will run, open up calculator, and the same thing here, it runs. So these two programs are open right now. And if I just want to know equivalent to this name, it says where name is this, now I use the or statement, or $ underscore dot name equal to calculator. But notice if I just type in calculator, I mean calc here, it is not going to find it. It's not going to find it because this one is matching, but this one, the name is not calc. The name is calculator. So you have to type in calculator. And then now it finds it. So if I just don't know the full name, I could also say instead of the equal, I could say like, meaning the wildcard match. So I could say calc and then star, that's good enough. It will find it there, CAL, the start with CAL and then there. So now if I want to just kill both of these processes that I just did this one in one command, I could also do a pipe on this one, say, go ahead, kill it, and then say stop dash process. And notice that both processes were killed. So that is for the get process commands there. And then if I just want to know another command, let's say clear the screen, and then get dash process. Let's do another one, say where $ underscore dot ID is greater than 5,000 and $ underscore ID is less than 5,500. So between those two numbers, right? So let's see if that one is going to match. Yeah. I'm going to just 5,500 and 5,000. Let's just make these numbers smaller and then see if the list is still greater than that one, will match anything with this. So I need to just do less than 500 and less than 50 and greater than 5. Because that would say everything that is greater than less than 50 show me, and greater than 5. But this one is cannot be or, cannot be and symbol, because when you do the and, both of them is not going to ever be true. So the Boolean operator has to make sense logically. In this case, the number is greater than 5, but not greater than 5, but less than 50. So why the 4 shows up here? Greater than 5, I said. Let me just do the greater than 5 here to see if this one should have not matched this one. Less than 50, oh, because this one is not an AND symbol. AND symbol and less than 50, everything matched, but greater than 5, and ID is greater than 5. So everything that was less than 50, it matches. Let me just make sure that it matches first. Yeah, it matches those ones. And now we want to get only 47, 48. If we want to get only 48, not 4, then we say and $_ underscore name and dot ID is greater than 45, like 47 or something. So that would only get 48. If there was a 47, it would show up, 46 would show up, but not 4 and not 0. That's how you do the AND operator to match both between these two numbers, between 50 and 45. Okay, so let's just do one more thing with process ID and then killing a process ID and then getting it. So we say start dash when word, and then that started the process when word. So a start is equivalent to start process, and then an alias for it. So now when word is running here, it is just on the background, somewhere it is coming here. I could close this one and then minimize this window. And here, when word, now I'm going to say get dash process where $_ underscore dot name like, and then we say when word. Notice if I just type in like without the dash, then be careful because that's a flag that I want to do. So this when word just came out, and I want to just put this one on the side here, and I'm going to do this. Notice that I don't have a dash here. So if I just do this one, it will say that syntax error. So if I just do that one, notice that says that name like, and it helps you, the PowerShell, with this tilde underscore under it. It says, oh, you meant something else. Can you just see unexpected like? I don't understand that word like. But if I do the like, it is going to match. But then it might not be when word. I typed in when word wrong. So when word like that, it will just find out the name there. So then you could just kill it by the process ID, or you could kill it by just stop process here. If you do a stop process here, notice that the start there. This time I'm going to say start when word, and then I'm not going to do the stop process. I will do it by killing the process ID. So let's just run that command to find out the process ID. And then here is this process ID. So I could just say where search it by ID, and then equal, then 824. 824, it will find it, and then you just pass it on to this pipe, the stop process that will just kill it. And it is done. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. Basically, I showed you what Windows kind of options that are there for and the Windows operating system for command line versus as well as to learn more. You're welcome to watch all of my free videos on MyWebUniversity.com. There's a lot more on YouTube that I have than here. I will post these ones and I will make more changes on this site. And you're welcome to our MyWebUniversity. I'm sorry, not MyWebUniversity. If you go and then search for MyWebUniversity free education videos. So this is all my videos that are available. There are about 99, but this one is going to be 100 videos. There's videos about 95 of them are in English and 5 of them are in Farsi, Persian. So I'm going to put a lot of the videos in both languages, and you're welcome to learn and just enjoy it. So please don't forget to subscribe. If you video, it's 1 hour 32 minutes, and it basically shows you how to those videos. And I'm going to make this one bigger so you can watch it. And at the end of this video, so please enjoy learning, and then if you have any questions, let me know. You're welcome to just make comments as you like to do. Regular expression, I have showed this one on Python and shell scripting. Apache web server is a very powerful web server. I have had these videos. You can see there's a lot of videos for learning, whether it's C programming, Python, C++, and then shell scripting, Unix, Linux, Bash scripting, and ops, and not for programming, Linux, Ubuntu, Linux, Med, and then God bless my brother, was a great man. I miss him so dearly, and he set up my life. And every time I see him, I dedicated all my books and all my documentation for my dear beloved mom and my dear beloved brother. God bless them, dear. So this one, we're going to just end this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Take care. Please don't forget to subscribe so you can watch the rest of the videos and always get the latest and greatest. Nice one. Have fun, and I hope everyone have peace and love for their families, and just be safe. Take care. Bye-bye.